Two questions today, both really easy, both pretty important. The first is what's something you want to improve at? And I'm sure something comes to mind. Like I often explain, obviously, this doesn't have to be career relevant. Could be. Could very well be personal life, could be self enrichment, personal education, stuff you want to read, whatever. Something you want to improve at, improve how you do, improve your ability in, do better than you've been doing. And then secondarily, what's something you can track that's going to help you, A, tell if you're improving at it, and so B, improve at by affecting what you're tracking. Now, this is the most obvious thing in the world once it's said. We all kind of take for granted that the businesses around us are driven this way. Certainly, our work in school is tracked and intended to improve in the same fashion. But it's so rare for us to give ourselves that same kind of tracking outside of the workplace. And this doesn't necessarily mean that there's a number that goes up. It may, in terms of, number of audience reached. Is for some people their metric. For other people, like myself, not the primary criteria. For someone, consistency is another thing, of course, you can track. And that tends to be, for many of the things I've done, the metric I focus on. Here for daily videos, for the long-running podcast, when I did the blog for many years, when I did the Interaction Artist experimental gameplay projects for 7 months, when I've been making 4 or 5 games a year for 20 years. Consistency for me is a thing I like to track that helps keep me doing it. Because oftentimes it's a field in which I'm able to kind of explore and change the directions I'm moving in with stuff. But it certainly has enabled me to get in practice, to get in experience, to get in a greater number of opportunities for finding overlap between that and other things in my life. And whatever it is you want to improve at, there is definitely something you can be tracking. And when I say tracking, I don't just mean paying attention to, I don't mean thinking about, I mean really something that's got a stamp, something that's got it written down, something that's got it so it exists. Maybe you keep it in a spreadsheet, maybe you keep it on a whiteboard. But if you don't write it down, if you don't do something with it, it becomes too easy to fool yourself about the time passing and whether or not you're improving at it, like we talked about some other times. But that's really for the day. It's just this, like I say, pretty common business notion, but a reminder you can be applying it to yourself. Of maybe for you, it's how many books you read per month, per year, if it helps you start out, or per quarter. How many pages might get you there, right? If it's something where you want to travel more. And travel, of course, in the most flexible sense. We don't mean you have to be world traveler. Might just mean going someplace you've never been right in the hometown that you're in. You can track that. You can set a goal for how often you've been doing it per month, how much you'd like to be doing it per month. Even just measuring it, like they say, will help you pay attention to if you're improving at it or not. You can't fool yourself anymore if you track it, to keep a record of it. So that's all I want to highlight today. Just figure out what it is you want to improve at. And then figure out what is it you can track that's going to help you tell if you're improving and improve through changing that. And obviously this is a case where the main homework, if you will, right? The real time for this is not going to be during this video. You don't mean talking while you're trying to think through that. It's kind of a, exercise left to the reader. Left to the listener. Have a good day.